You know, there's nothing quite like the thrill of planning a trip. The excitement of exploring new places, reconnecting with loved ones, or finally crossing that dream destination off your bucket list. But let's be honest, my friends. Traveling after 70 isn't quite the same as it was in our younger years. Our bodies change, the world changes, and sometimes the things we don't see coming can turn adventure into a challenge. That's why today, we're going to talk about 5 hidden dangers of traveling after 70, the kind that sneak up when we least expect them, and how to stay one step ahead so you can enjoy every moment of your journey worry-free. Now, I know what you're thinking. Asterisk, I've traveled my whole life. What could possibly go wrong now? Asterisk, and you're right. You've earned that wisdom. But here's the thing. As we age, even small oversights can have bigger consequences. Maybe it's a sudden health hiccup, a misstep with medications, or a destination that's not quite as accessible as it looked online. These aren't reasons to stop traveling. No way. They're just reminders to travel smarter. So let's start by talking about the first hidden danger many seniors face: underestimating the impact of pre-existing health conditions. Picture this. You're finally on that river cruise you've been saving up for. The scenery is breathtaking. The food is divine. But halfway through the trip, your arthritis flares up worse than ever, or your blood pressure spikes from the excitement. Suddenly, you're stuck in your cabin instead of soaking up the experience. Sound familiar? The truth is, even well-managed health issues can act up when routines are disrupted. Different time zones, unfamiliar foods, or long days of walking. Take my cousin Helen, for example. She's a champ at managing her diabetes. But during a trip to Italy last year, the time zone shifts threw off her medication schedule, and the carb-heavy meals left her feeling shaky. She ended up spending a day in a local clinic instead of touring Florence. The key here isn't to avoid travel. It's to prepare. Always consult your doctor before booking a trip. Don't just ask, asterisk, is it safe for me to go? Asterisk, dig deeper. Ask, asterisk, is this destination realistic for me right now? Asterisk or asterisk, should I adjust my medication schedule for time changes? Asterisk, and never, ever skip packing a detailed medical summary. Include allergies, conditions, dosage instructions, and emergency contacts. Slip a copy into your carry-on, your suitcase, even your phone's notes app. A little planning here can mean the difference between a hiccup and a full-blown crisis. Now, let's talk about a danger that's easy to overlook until it's too late. Choosing destinations that aren't senior-friendly. We've all seen those glossy brochures of quaint European villages or tropical resorts. But what they don't show are the steep cobblestone streets, the lack of handrails, or the 3 flights of stairs to the bathroom. I'll never forget my friend Martha, who booked a relaxing trip to a historic seaside town, only to find herself stranded because her walker couldn't navigate the narrow, uneven paths. Heartbreaking, right? But here's the good news. A little research goes a long way. Before you book, call the hotel and ask specific questions. Asterisk, are your rooms wheelchair accessible? Asterisk, asterisk, is there an elevator? Asterisk, asterisk, do the showers have grab bars? Asterisk, better yet, use travel agencies that specialize in senior trips. They know which tours have shaded rest areas, which cruise ships have medical staff on board, and which cities have smooth sidewalks. And if your heart is set on somewhere adventurous, go for it. Just pair that dream with a backup plan. Maybe hire a local guide who understands mobility needs, or opt for a tour group with built-in support. My neighbor, Frank, always wanted to visit Machu Picchu, but worried about the altitude and steep trails. He found a senior-focused tour that included a portable oxygen tank and a slower-paced itinerary. And he came back with stories and photos that still light up his eyes. And here's the third danger, one that catches even the savviest travelers: overlooking travel insurance fine print. I get it. Insurance feels like an extra expense, especially when you're sticking to a budget. But let me tell you about my neighbor, Carl. He booked a 2-week train journey through the mountains, paid up front, and then broke his hip a month before the trip. Turns out his budget-friendly insurance didn't cover pre-existing conditions or last-minute cancellations. He lost thousands, and the trip. Now, I'm not saying you need the most expensive policy out there, but you do need to read every line. Look for coverage that includes medical emergencies abroad, trip interruptions, and specifically mentions pre-existing conditions, if you have any, and don't wait until the last minute. Some policies require you to buy coverage within 14 days of booking your trip to be valid. One more tip. Check if your credit card offers travel insurance as a perk. My niece, Sarah, used hers for a canceled flight last year and got reimbursed for her hotel stay without a hassle. It's a small price for peace of mind, especially when you're far from home. You see, the beauty of travel isn't just in the destinations. It's in the confidence of knowing you prepared for the unexpected. And guess what? We're just getting started. There are 2 more hidden dangers we need to unpack, ones that could affect everything from your safety to your savings. But for now, take a moment to think about what we covered. Maybe even jot down a note to call your doctor or revisit that insurance policy. Because the best adventures aren't just about where you go. They're about enjoying every step of the journey worry-free. Let's keep that momentum going. Now, let's talk about a danger that's as sneaky as a pickpocket in a crowded market. Falling victim to scams or financial exploitation while traveling. You might be thinking, asterisk, I've been around the block. I can spot a scam a mile away. Asterisk, and you're probably right. But here's the thing. Scams targeting seniors have gotten more sophisticated, especially in popular tourist areas. Thieves and con artists often see older travelers as easy targets. Not because we're naive, but because they assume we're carrying cash, relying on outdated payment methods, or less familiar with digital safety. Let me share a story about my buddy George. He was in a bustling European city last summer, waiting in line for a famous museum, when a friendly stranger struck up a conversation. They bonded over their love of art, and the stranger even offered to take George's photo in front of the building. Next thing George knew, his wallet was gone. The friendly stranger had distracted him while an accomplice swiped it. George lost his credit cards, his ID, and his confidence for the rest of the trip. So how you stay safe? First, carry only what you need. Leave expensive jewelry and extra cash in the hotel safe. Use a money belt or a crossbody bag with anti-theft zippers. Something that stays on you, not just draped over a chair. And here's a tip I swear by. Carry a decoy wallet. Fill an old wallet with a few expired gift cards and a small amount of local currency. If someone demands money, hand over the decoy. It's a small price to keep the real valuables safe. Another trick? Avoid flashing your phone or camera in crowded areas. Thieves often target folks who look distracted or overly trusting. And if someone approaches you an offer that seems too good to be true, a private tour, a discounted souvenir, or a helpful gesture, politely decline and walk away. Trust your gut, my friends. You've earned that intuition over decades. Use it. Now, let's move to a danger that's quieter but just as risky, overlooking the importance of hydration and medication routines. This one hits close to home because it's so easy to dismiss. We get caught up in the excitement of a new place, the sights, the sounds, the flavors, and suddenly, we've gone hours without a sip of water or forgotten to take our pills on time. But dehydration and medication mishaps can spiral quickly, especially in hot climates or high altitudes. Take my sister-in-law, Evelyn. She's a meticulous planner, but during a trip to Arizona, she got so wrapped up in hiking through the desert that she forgot to drink water until she felt dizzy. By the time she reached help, she was dangerously dehydrated and spent the next day recovering in bed instead of exploring. Here's the thing. Our bodies don't adjust as quickly as they used to. What felt like a minor oversight at 50 can become a crisis at 70. So, let's get practical. First, make hydration non-negotiable. Carry a reusable water bottle everywhere. One with time markers on the side to remind you to sip throughout the day. If you're worried about bathroom breaks, plan your routes around rest stops or cafes. And don't rely on thirst alone. By the time you feel parched, you're already dehydrated. Next, medications. Set alarms on your phone for every dose, adjusted to the local time zone as soon as you land. Pack medications in their original label bottles. Customs officials may need to verify them, and bring double what you think you'll need in case of delays. I even tape a list of my medications and dosages inside my suitcase lid, just in case. And if you're traveling with a partner, make it a habit to check in with each other. Asterisk, did you take your pills? Asterisk, asterisk, Have you had enough water today? Asterisk, it's a simple act of care that can keep you both on track. You see, my friends, the magic of travel isn't just in the grand moments. It's in the quiet confidence of knowing you've safeguarded yourself against the unexpected. And while we covered 2 more hidden dangers today, there's still one final piece of this puzzle. A danger that ties everything together and can make or break your entire trip. But for now, let's pause and reflect. Maybe take a sip of water, jot down a reminder to check your medication stash, or share a scam prevention tip with a friend. Because every small step you take today is a giant leap toward worry-free adventures tomorrow. Let's keep building that confidence. Together, let's dive into the final hidden danger. One that doesn't always make the brochures, but can quietly drain the joy from your travels if you're not prepared, ignoring the toll of fatigue and overexertion. Now, I know what you're thinking, asterisk, but I've always been a go-getter. I don't want to miss a single sight. Asterisk, oh, do I ever relate to that? There's a fire in us to make the most of every moment, especially after 70. But here's the truth. Pushing yourself too hard isn't just exhausting. It can lead to injuries, burnout, or even illness that cuts your trip short. Take my cousin, Harold. He planned a whirlwind tour of Paris, determined to visit every museum, cafe, and landmark in 5 days. By day 3, he was so worn out that he tripped on a curb and sprained his ankle. Instead of savoring croissants at a sidewalk cafe, he spent the rest of his trip icing his foot in a hotel room. The key here isn't to slow down, it's to pace yourself. Think of travel like a marathon, not a sprint. Build rest days into your itinerary, especially after long flights or busy sightseeing. If you're touring a city, split your day into morning and evening activities with a proper nap or quiet break in between. And don't be afraid to say, asterisk, you know what? I'll sit this one out. Asterisk, there's no shame in enjoying a book by the hotel pool while your group hikes a steep trail. In fact, some of my fondest travel memories come from those quiet moments. Striking up a conversation with a local shopkeeper, sketching a street scene, or simply people watching from a park bench. Remember, it's your trip. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to savor the experience. Now, let's tie all these dangers together with one golden rule. Failing to build a support network while traveling. This isn't just about who you're traveling with. It's about knowing who to turn to if things go sideways. Whether you're solo or with a group, having a safety net in place can turn a crisis into a manageable hiccup. Start by sharing your itinerary with a trusted friend or family member back home. Include flight details, hotel addresses, and even copies of your passport and insurance documents. Apps like WhatsApp or Find My Friends let loved ones check in without intruding on your adventure. If you're traveling alone, consider joining a senior travel group. There's camaraderie in exploring with peers who understand your pace and priorities. And here's a tip I learned the hard way. Get to know the staff at your hotel or cruise ship. A friendly chat with a concierge or a housekeeper can open doors to local insights, like which markets are safe, which taxis to avoid, or where to find a trusted doctor. When my friend Louise fell ill in Tokyo, it was the hotel's front desk manager who arranged for an English-speaking doctor to visit her room, sparing her a stressful trip to an unfamiliar hospital. Little connections like these can be lifelines when you're far from home. So, let's recap what we've covered today. First, never underestimate how travel can affect your health. Consult your doctor, pack that medical summary, and plan for the unexpected. Second, choose destinations that match your mobility and needs, not just the postcard-perfect photos. Third, read every word of that insurance policy. It's your safety net when life throws a curveball. Fourth, stay sharp against scams and keep hydration and medications front of mind. And finally, respect your energy limits and build a support network wherever you go. These aren't restrictions, my friends. They're tools to empower your adventures. Now, I want to leave you with this. Aging doesn't mean giving up the thrill of discovery. It means traveling with the wisdom to protect what matters most, your health, your safety, and your joy. So go ahead, book that trip, wander those streets, taste those new flavors. Just do it with eyes wide open and a plan in your pocket. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Have you encountered any of these hidden dangers on your travels? What tips would you add to help fellow seniors explore the world confidently. Drop your stories and advice in the comment below. Let's learn from each other. And if this video resonated with you, please give a thumbs up and share it with a friend who's dreaming of their next adventure. Don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom of Aging for more tips on living boldly and wisely in your golden years. Remember, my friends, the world is still yours to explore. It doesn't matter if you're 70, 80, or beyond. Every journey is a chance to write a new chapter in your story. So pack your bags, double-check that itinerary, and step out the door with confidence. Here's to the adventures ahead, and to savoring every single step along the way. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.